Welcome to Top Tier Lists. Today we will be counting down the top 7 biggest coincidences in history. Coincidences are sometimes mind-blowing. This one time I witnessed 3 conspiracy theorists walk into a bar. You can't tell me that's not a coincidence.
It's a bad joke.
And this other time I ran into a guy who once sold me a tiny globe. It's a small world. But anyways, let's get right into the video. Number 7. John Wilkes Booth's brother saved Abraham Lincoln's son from death. John Wilkes Booth and Abraham Lincoln reportedly had a coincidental family connection long before Booth shot Lincoln on that tragic day on April of 1865. Booth's brother, Edwin, was a somewhat famous stage actor who passionately supported the Union during the Civil War. While in a train station in New Jersey, Lincoln's son, Robert Todd Lincoln, leaned up against a stopped train, nearly falling onto the tracks as it started up again. Edwin Booth grabbed him by the collar and saved him just in time. The younger Lincoln recognized his hero and wrote about the incident, but it wasn't until years later that Booth found out who he had saved.
You saved my life.
I did?
Yes, sir.
Number 6. An engaged couple discovered their parents almost married one another. As told in an episode of NPR's This American Life, titled No Coincidence, No Story, Stephen and Helen Lee had just gotten engaged when they made a shocking family discovery. While looking through family photos during their engagement party in New York, they realized that the bride's mother and groom's late father had nearly gotten married in Korea in the 1960s.
Wait, what?
By incredibly narrow odds, the two loves of Lee's father's life from 2 different sides of the world, no less, now share grandchildren decades later.
That's crazy.
Number 5. One man missed 2 Malaysian air flights that crashed. In 2014, there were 2 tragic plane crashes involving Malaysian air flights. The first was shot down over Ukraine, and the second disappeared without a trace somewhere over the Indian Ocean, in the greatest aviation mystery of all time. Beyond the fact that both incidents involved the same airline in such a short time span, there was another striking coincidence. Dutch cyclist Martin de Jonge was scheduled to take both flights, but cheated death by bumping his ticket at the 11th hour, when cheaper options became available.
You're a lucky man.
Number 4. In a story told on the Wing podcast Radiolab, in 2001, a 10-year-old girl named Laura Buxton stood in her front yard with a red balloon. On the side of the balloon, she had written the words, "Please return to Laura Buxton," along with her address. She then released it into a strong wind. The balloon traveled roughly 140 miles south before descending, and finally landed in the yard of another 10-year-old girl. The second girl's name? Also Laura Buxton. After getting in touch and explaining the coincidence, the girls decided to meet, and discovered a whole range of uncanny similarities. Not only did they look and dress alike, but both girls had 3-year-old chocolate labs, a grey rabbit, and a guinea pig, and both had brought their guinea pigs to the meeting, unplanned. Number 3. South African astronomer Danny du Toit gave a lecture on how death can strike anyone, at any time. Upon the completion of his lecture, du Toit popped a mint into his mouth. It slid into the back of his throat, causing him to choke to death on the spot.
That's what you call ironic.
Number 2. After his sister's suicide, a man vowed revenge on Harry Ziegland, the suitor who had broken his sister's heart, prompting her to take her life. The brother shot at Ziegland, who fell to the ground. Believing his task done, the brother shot and killed himself with the same gun. However, the bullet meant for Ziegland did not strike him. Instead, it lodged itself into a nearby tree.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
3 years later, Ziegland was working to clear that same location and used dynamite to remove the tree. The explosion sent the bullet flying, striking and killing Ziegland. Number 1. The Jim twins were separated at birth, but led nearly identical lives. Twins and coincidences seem to go hand in hand. For starters, the very likelihood of conceiving twins is relatively low at 33 in 1,000, but frequently, the uncanny circumstances run deeper than that, and the Jim twins are a prime example. Separated at birth and raised by different families in Ohio, they finally met at the age of 39. Both sets of adopted parents named the boys James and called them Jim for short. Both men married twice. Remarkably, both first wives were named Linda, and both second wives were named Betty. Both had one son, who they had both named James Allen. According to Ripley's, they drove the same car, had similar jobs, and even vacationed in the same place. That is all for today on Top Tier Lists. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can never miss our videos.